States, Canada, and Tokyo, Japan. This is the Rich Stevens Radio Network.
Here we go on a Wednesday morning. How are you? I am Rich Stevens. I appreciate you being here. Here's where we are right now. 4 witnesses testify in the Trump impeachment inquiry. Mark Walton, cut by the Miami Dolphins. He supposedly struck his pregnant woman. 2 Epstein guards I told you about yesterday, they've been charged with falsifying records. Police stopped a teen from attacking a church in Georgia. And Uno, the card game, they are taking away the red and blue cards so they can be nonpartisan. How crazy is that? I mean, it started with the statues and then this and then that, and now games are changing because of it's a lot of crap. And speaking of crap, I don't know if you watched any of the hearings yesterday. I watched a little bit of it. To me, it's so boring because you can almost anticipate what each witness and what each Democrat or Republican is going to say. But here's the thing that's so interesting. Alexander Vindman is now getting, from the Pentagon, Army protection to make sure he's safe. And his family, just for their own protection. This is the guy that's the Purple Heart awardee. He testified for a few hours. And the Army said they're prepared to move Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman and his family to a secure military base if officials deem that he's in some kind of danger. I'm stumbling on my words because I cannot believe it was just it's a circus, it's a clown show. So he testified yesterday in front of the House Intelligence Committee. This is all part of the House's impeachment inquiry. And according to the Wall Street Journal, we know how reliable they are, they first reported that the arrangements could be made by quoting a source who said the Army will make sure he's safe. Now, can you just imagine for a second if the Democrats and the Republicans spent as much time trying to make the country a better place for all of us as it does trying to destroy each other? I mean, once this round is over, ding, 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 and straight into the next vendetta fiasco. It's a lot like in the UK, where they've spent the last 3 years stuck in Brexit chaos rather than dealing with domestic big issues. These politicians, these nightmare egomaniacs. Let me give you a little summary of all the witnesses that have been called so far, okay? So here's the question. Do you know of any demands, bribery, extortion, or any other illegal activity by the President of the United States? The answer from every single one of them, no. You see, the left has nothing, and they never will. This is purely an attempt to manufacture a crime that never happened because they can't find anything real. They can't find a real crime. It's nothing more than a coup attempt, and they will not succeed. Shifty Schiff is the fake whistleblower. He made all this up. That's who the secret person Vindman went to see. That's why the fake whistleblower is not allowed to testify and why Shifty Schiff shut down any questions regarding Vindman and who he talked to. And Schiff, in my opinion, is a traitor attempting a coup and should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But the fake news from the lying-ass liberal media, they want to make this guy out to be some kind of hero to help push their narrative when this guy had nothing of any relevance to say anyway. I mean, if anyone should be at risk, it's not Vindman, although he should be fired for ignoring his chain of command. But if anyone should worry about their safety, it's got to be Shifty Schiff. He's the one leading this coup attempt, not Vindman. And supposedly Schiff says that he doesn't know who the whistleblower is. Well, neither did Vindman. Yet today, Vindman was reluctant to tell Nunes who else knew about the call, and then Schiff stopped Nunes and accused him of trying to expose the whistleblower. after both of them said they did not know who it is. I mean, what the hell is going on besides these people lying, under oath? The only people he has to be afraid of is the Democrats, because he brought nothing of any kind of substance yesterday. And they tried to make it seem like he did. And now with this entire farce that may have to go into hiding, this guy is furthering this pretense that he had something to say that actually mattered. He had a feeling that wasn't even felt by the other person on the call. What he did say is that he felt Hunter's position was one that he had no qualifications for. Okay, so there may be some people he has to fear, but not from anyone who is in office. I mean, the Democrats are running an impeachment without any charges and place a harmless witness under protection without any threat. That's what's called creating a false perception, and people fall for this crap. Every time. It's just like when you watch pro wrestling, people think that's real. I mean, give me a break. And please, let's just call it what it is. Nobody cares about him or what he says. I mean, it's not like he's testifying about the Clintons, because then he'd really have something to be afraid of. It's so frustrating to me to see this on every single television channel. And then when they break and they have the commentary, I mean, I just want to throw up. It's that bad. All right, the other big story, things that don't hang themselves. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Epstein. Senator John Kennedy says that the American people deserve answers about Epstein's death during the committee hearing that was going on today in another part of the House. He demanded that the head of the Federal Bureau of Prisons tell the American people what actually happened surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. They say that Epstein killed himself while behind bars at one of the most secure jails in the United States. Now, the senator was questioning Kathleen Hawke Sawyer, who's the director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, at Senate Judiciary Committee hearing when he made these remarks yesterday. Apparently, wait to hear this, Epstein's guards, they were online shopping for furniture and napping when the millionaire pedophile committed suicide in his cell, which was just 15 feet away from where they were online shopping on their computers. So the two Federal Bureau of Prison employees, Tova Noel, she's 31, and Michael Thomas is 41, they were charged officially in federal court over their failure to check on Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, they had one job, guarding Epstein at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City the night he killed himself. They were 15 feet from his cell, and they spent most of their shift browsing for furniture and sports news online. And they didn't check on any inmates for 8 hours. And they found Epstein when they went to serve the prisoners breakfast at about 6:30 a.m. Now, their task was to check on, because he was on suicide watch, every 30 minutes. So a supervisor arrived after the officer sounded an alarm, and they supposedly told him, we messed up, we didn't do any rounds. Then Thomas was also on duty on July 23rd when Epstein first attempted suicide, and the Bureau of Prisons director said the FBI is investigating the possibility of a criminal enterprise in connection with Epstein's death. I don't know about you. My gut's telling me, and I'm not trying to start any conspiracy theory, but my gut's telling me Epstein's still alive, or he was killed, one or the other. I'd be curious to know what you think about this, too. You could reach out 305-707-7878, 305-707-7878, or you could go to my website, richstevenshow.com, click on the contact and get in touch with me and just let me know your thoughts. Because this story's not going anywhere. We're going to be talking about this tomorrow as well, probably next couple of weeks, I would imagine, because this story, the way it's unfolding, is just, I mean, it's mind-blowing. And speaking of mind-blowing, PG&E, that's the power company in most of California, I think. Their power outage, we're finding out now, was a big screw you to the state of California, one politician says. And they're getting ready to cut another 660,000 people off tomorrow. Now, the CEO said the company wasn't as well prepared as they thought they were. And meanwhile, California Senator Bill Dodd told the CEO that the October 9th power outage was a big screw you to their millions of customers across the Golden State. And these outages caused life-saving medications to spoil, businesses to lose money, and the power was cut to prevent more wildfires after its outdated equipment sparked devastating wildfires in recent years. It happened anyway. So can you imagine another 660,000 people in the San Francisco suburbs and the Sierra Nevada foothills, wine country, and elsewhere? Their electricity is being cut tomorrow. And they say the new outages may occur due to strong winds that could spark the wildfires again. And they also announced that power may be turned off in an additional 22 counties today. I mean, it's just, I mean, the weather, you can't predict, the kind of stuff that's going on there in California like you can predict the hurricanes here. And, oh, by the way, speaking of hurricanes, the hurricane season is just about over, thank God. I think it's another 10 days. And yes, we could get a late season storm, but it doesn't look like that. And speaking of storms, how do you like the weather the last couple, 3 nights? It's going to last through the weekend at least. And it feels so good to not, feel the humidity. It's a nice break. It's a nice change. Miami Dolphins running back Mark Walton got arrested for punching his pregnant girlfriend and pushing her into a wall. So the team released him. This is his 4th booking of this year alone. Mark Walton was officially released from the Miami Dolphins. He was arrested for abusing his girlfriend, who's 5 weeks pregnant, with their kid. She told police that she informed him about the pregnancy on Sunday. He's now serving a 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's conduct and substance abuse policies, and he would have been eligible to return on December 8th, but of course they cut him. The Bengals waived Walton in April after his 3rd arrest of 2019. He surrendered to police here in South Florida in April on a felony charge of carrying a concealed weapon along with marijuana possession and reckless driving. In February, he was arrested and charged with misdemeanor battery, again here in Florida. He was also arrested on a misdemeanor marijuana possession charge in January. What's the deal with some people and their way of thinking about things? There is a gunman that shoots and kills a man in a hail of bullets that also hit a school bus and another bus with dozens of passengers on board. A 32-year-old man was shot, taken to the hospital, later died from his injuries. Family members have identified the victim as a recent college graduate, Francisco Bonilla. New York police said a school bus carrying 1 child was struck by this hail of bullets. An MTA bus with dozens of passengers was also hit by bullets. The incident happened after an argument erupted in Brooklyn yesterday morning. And police have not made any arrests in this incident. Obviously, the investigation continues to go on. But it's just, it's just such a sad state of affairs when you hear about and see these kind of things. And speaking of sad state of affairs, the House Democrats have passed, this is very funny, have passed a short-term budget bill to avoid Thanksgiving government shutdown. Sounds good, right? But it's going to expire 5 days before Christmas. Now, the Democrat-led House passed spending bill that would keep the government open, but again, only through Thanksgiving, and then it's going to expire 5 days before Christmas. Now, Republicans in the Senate are expected to pass this, and the president's obviously going to sign it. But a Thanksgiving holiday shutdown that expires on December 20th is not that good. And they're claiming that the main obstacle is Trump's demand for billions for the U.S.-Mexico border wall. Can't believe we're still talking about this, but, I guess it is what it is. And speaking of Thanksgiving, this is a rough time of year to try to watch what you eat. If you're going to watch anything, it's 20,000 calories worth of desserts and the booze going in your mouth. There's a new survey that says we basically write off the end of the year when it comes to our health and our diets. 41% of people use the holidays as a reason to punt on healthy habits, and 1 in 3 have already started postponing those habits until January. Not me, by the way. I'm doing great. I'm down 26 pounds already, and more to go. Now, the survey also found 47% of people say they already know that they're going to give in and break their diet during the holiday season, and the top foods that we break our diet are cookies, pies, and cakes, and, of course, those home-cooked holiday meals. 30% of people say they've had a moment during the holidays where they've unbuttoned their pants because they ate too much. I think we've all been there one time or another. Overall, the average American is going to gain 6 pounds over the next month and a half, which is the same amount of weight we packed on last year. So, just be careful. I am by no means going to be intimidated by the Thanksgiving and the Christmas and all this, these dinners and yada, yada, yada. I'm not worried about it because in the next month and a half, I'm going to lose hopefully double what I've got now with the 26 pounds. So a Yeti teddy bear, a Nerf dart gun, plastic Power Rangers with a claw. These are just some of the toys that are topping a Consumer Safety Group's list of worst toys for the holidays. So you don't want to buy these for your kids. Yesterday, they released a list, or the watch list, and they unveiled the list which warns parents about the danger of certain products. There's one, and you got to wonder, what are these toy companies thinking? A machine gun that looks very real. A pogo trick board, ice cream scented Nickelodeon slime, a pull-along caterpillar toy for infants also made the list. The group says many of the products present choking, eye and other safety hazards frequently found in poorly designed toys. It also cites the products for having inconsistent and inadequate warning labels. In 2017, there were more than 90,000 toy-related emergency room visits for kids under age 5. And that's a 5% increase from 85,000 reported in 2016. So they had this press conference yesterday at Franciscan Children's Hospital in Boston, and the president of the organization, Watch, Joan Siff, and the director, James Swartz is his name. They discussed some of the hazards found in these children's toys and products. And they said that this Nerf Ultra One gun, which is capable of firing soft darts up to 120 feet, shoots the projectiles with enough force to potentially cause eye injuries. And the warning label on the Flybar's Pogo trick board tells kids to wear protection, but the product's packaging features a child using the device without wearing a helmet or any kind of protection. And meanwhile, Nickelodeon's Frozen Treats slime includes mint chocolate chip, berry smoothie, and snow cone scented versions of the goo, even as it warns the products are made of harmful chemicals and should not be eaten. Now, in spite of its name, the slime is not edible. They say it's intended for fun and entertainment. A lot of toys contain these hidden hazards, unnecessarily putting children at risk of injury or death. And the group said in a press conference yesterday that they put this list together every year. It's an annual list of the nation's most dangerous toys that are sold online and in stores, so parents and caregivers know what traps to avoid when buying toys for the kids, especially in the 2019 holiday shopping season. All right, in a totally different direction, a 16-year-old girl was arrested yesterday for attempted murder after police unearthed her plan to kill people at a Georgia church because of their race. Now, the Gainesville Police Department revealed the heinous crime in a press statement that was released late yesterday. They said the girl, who's white, planned to attack Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church, which has a predominantly black congregation. Now, they're not telling us her name because she's 16, But the chief of the police department there says our investigation indicated the church was targeted by this juvenile based on the racial demographic of the church members. And of course, the church was immediately notified of the incident by Gainesville police to ensure the safety of the entire community, and the current threat was under control. Now, back on November 15th, which was 5 days ago, the school administration at Gainesville High School received reports of the unidentified teen's plan from several concerned students. See, this is where the see something, say something comes in, and it pays off. They said that this girl kept the details of her murder plot inside a notebook. So the school administrators conducted a preliminary investigation, and they found the notebook. Then they turned the investigation over to the police department, who took the suspect into custody and then notified the kid's parents. Apparently, this girl collected knives, had visited the church once, but when no one was in there. They're saying that this is still an active investigation and a prime example of how strong relationships between the student body, school administration, and law enforcement can intercept a potentially horrific accident, or incident, I should say. So right now the girl is charged with criminal attempt to commit murder. She's currently at a youth detention center, and community members, of course, are shocked by the brazen attempt to commit such a malicious crime. I mean, this is just, I don't want to say it's par for the course, but this is just the kind of stuff that we need to be alert for and watch out for these things. All right, speaking of watching out for things, the Black Friday sales are all over right now. They're advertising them everywhere. And just because a store says that they're having a Black Friday deal does not make it a great deal. Wake up. This is a new study of all the Black Friday ads this year, and they say there's a lot of the same items from last year's Black Friday ads, and some of them are back at higher prices. The research found that 18% of the deals that major chains are advertising this year are the same exact products that they advertised last year. And the 5 businesses that have the most recycled products are JCPenney, Sears, Ace Hardware, Office Depot, Office Max, and Harbor Freight. And the 5 with the fewest repeats are Costco, Dell, Lenovo, Best Buy, and Fred Meyer. I don't even know what Fred Meyer is, but as far as the price differences, let me give you a few examples. The repeats at True Value are listed for an average of 8.5% more than they were last year, and the ones at Office Depot are 7.5% higher. At Staples, they're 6% higher. Now, on the other side of things, Costco's repeats are 14.4% cheaper than last year. Best Buys are 8.7% cheaper, and Dell's 5.6% less. So there you go. Hey, you looking for a job? Would you like to make some money? American Marijuana, which they bill themselves as one of the most trusted medical marijuana resources online, they want to hire one lucky pot smoker to review a wide range of cannabis products from the comfort of your own home. Now, if you're the candidate that's chosen, you'll get paid $3,000 a month. They'll give you a monthly supply of samples completely free of charge, so they're informed about the products that they're reviewing. But there's some things you got to be aware of. First, you got to live somewhere in the United States where medical marijuana is legal. And second, there's more to it than just smoking pot. You're going to be required to produce a variety of reviews, including unboxing videos and writing blog posts explaining how products work and compare to one another. So you've got to be camera friendly. And you can't make this stuff up. There's a guy in Vermont that's suing Ben & Jerry's because he said the company's claim that ice cream comes from happy cows is not true. He claimed that less than half the milk and cream Ben & Jerry's uses comes from farms that participate in Vermont's Caring Dairy program, and the guy said the rest comes from factory farms. The guy also said the customers pay a higher price from Ben & Jerry's because they expect the ingredients to be from humane suppliers. We don't know how much he's seeking for what he calls false advertising, but, I mean, people just, it's like nothing off limits anymore. Some sad news on another cruise ship. We seem to hear about this way too often. A guy fell off from the 9th deck balcony on the Carnival Horizon, and he landed 4 stories below on the 5th deck. He suffered blunt force trauma and was pronounced dead at the hospital. Right now, his death is being treated as an accident, but the Carnival Horizon, which is the cruise line's biggest ship, was returning to Miami following a 6-day Western Caribbean journey. And the ship was about to return to the port of Miami, so the trip was not interrupted at all. 4,000 people on board, and somehow this guy falls off the 9th story. It's a very sad story. By the way, on a much lighter note, and you never know what it's going to be, Daytona Beach, the airport there, was shut down yesterday morning because of a suspicious moisturizer. The police, the TSA, they said they found a bottle of lotion in the airport about 6 o'clock in the morning, which prompted them to evacuate the terminal for about an hour and a half. And once the bomb squad determined that the lotion was intended for moisturizing skin and not for blowing up an airplane, the terminal was reopened and flights resumed. In the end, only about 2 flights were delayed. So, they say somebody saw something again and they said something. But the TSA agents saw the bottle of lotion and thought it might be a detonator for an explosive device. In all these cases, it's better to be safe than sorry. There's no doubt about that. And speaking of safe, I got to tell you, the kind of things, I'm going to start, I think, getting to the point where I'm going to start reading emails here on the Rich Stevens Show again, because some of the emails and text messages I get are, well, not only nice, and thank you for sharing the show all over your social media. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. But some people, especially, there's some people just don't have a clue. Let me just put it to the kind politically correct way, of which I am never really politically correct, but then, there it is. All right, listen, I'd love to hear from you. Get in touch with me, richstevenshow.com. Click on the contact form, and there's also some great pictures there. I'm going to add more pictures. The blog is updated several times throughout the day with some great stuff. richstevenshow.com. And have a wonderful Wednesday. You made it through halfway of the week, so that's a good thing. And God willingly, I'll talk to you on Thursday, tomorrow. So have a great Wednesday. Stay warm.